Yo, nephew, hand me that Barstool. Yeah, give me them headphones. Right there, yeah. Let me get that keyboard. Yeah, turn me up a little bit. Yeah, this for prime time. Barstool Sports, baby. Trap. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. Fresh and clean as the South get. Before I get started, I'm laying out my outfit. Socks and shoes that match to a T. I doubt if a sucker get a catch on me.
Welcome to 21st in Prime with my man who's the most is the co-host of the year, Jamie Dukes. We got a good one today, man.
We got a great one today. This is a real show today.
Thought-provoking.
Yeah.
Challenging.
Yeah. We're going to tick some people off. We have to tick ourselves off.
Right.
Because I think that, and it really goes to the first subject of today is where we got to start. One word, criticism. It's difficult for people to accept, myself just being transparent, it's difficult for me to accept criticism, because, for me, I'm trying somewhat of so-called.
Well, I want to shoot back.
Okay.
Yeah, you give me criticism, I got to shoot back.
Have to shoot
because
back.
I got to undress you, too.
Yeah.
You undress me, I'm going to undress you. That's how most of us get down.
Bill Belichick, head coach.
The greatest ever.
The GOAT. There is no question. But the other pieces of Bill Belichick's greatness have to do with also what didn't work in Texas for the Texans in Houston was head coach, GM, run the operation. Bill Belichick is king of New England.
Right.
And he's come under criticism because now the GOAT is gone at the quarterback
make
position.
sense. How can one of the greatest coaches, arguably the greatest coach ever, now in his first year that's a little iffy, come up under criticism?
Well, because the question becomes, again, these are just people. The question becomes, were you great because of Tom? Because see, now that's, again, this is the people parsing this, that, and the other, the draft choices. Because let me ask you this question. And he has
They're winning and winning.
They are winning.
And winning. They've been winning and winning and winning.
But
first year he's not winning at the rate that you want him to win, you're going to question him?
Yes, because we've been waiting to do it. We were waiting for you to give up that first touchdown,
So
that's
just like a woman who she cooks every day of the week for her man, take care of her family, drop the kids off at school, then go to work, and then come back and take care of the crib. And the first day she miss a meal, you going to question her? That ain't right.
Well, is it not right, or is criticism a part of?
This Black Rifle coffee is awesome, dog.
It is good.
You made that pot, dog. Dog, this Black Rifle coffee is awesome.
Good.
I'm sorry.
It is good. But I think that criticism is a part of it. Because think about it. There's no bigger critic to you than you. I hear you all the time. You gave an analogy talking about a game, well, it made it look great on TV, but you knew on this play.
Well, my thought process was, how can I give room and a voice to my critic when my critic has a critic? My critic got a critic, and I'm going to listen to my critic? That don't make sense.
Yes and no. I think it goes, to me, it's more about how dare you. But the criticism, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong with Belichick, I'm just saying we're using this as a jump-off point.
With Belichick.
It's just a jump-off point. Oh, well, no, I think it's fair.
No, that's wrong with Belichick.
If your draft history, because you took the job.
They've been winning.
Right.
You just criticized them for the first time ever because this is the first time you've seen his draws down.
But the question becomes, was it because Tom was covering up holes? For example, Falcons. I don't know what our record was when you were playing with us, but it was clear when Deion's here, it's different. Whatever we're doing in the back half and all that, we was going to score. But whatever we're doing was different. It was clear that it was different. And so now people are trying to now parse in their mind, Belichick, Was it really about your coaching? Was it about you and Tom? I think obviously it was a combination of both. But the piece of the draft choices, in other words, because he had another job and responsibility.
He's missing, half his defense because they opted out. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that as well.
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
Let's talk. We had Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke.
Yep.
Both of you coaches, and in this day and age, again, going back to this theme of criticism, as a coach, as a today coach, how do you tell a child, criticize a child when the child doesn't want to be criticized?
You can't play for me. If you don't want to be criticized, if you don't want to be challenged, you can't play for me. That you're on the wrong team.
But it's your child. Instead of it, let's take it away from the coach prime piece of it. Father prime.
Okay.
And how
you still can't play for me. Because first and foremost, you should know that's my child. If I'm coaching and you know that's my child other than his name, that's a problem. That means I'm showing some type of favoritism. If anything, my kids could be, and I could be guilty of, is being tougher on mine and not giving them the pass when the pass was evident that I should have gave. I don't play that because I'm not just building them for the game. I'm building them for the game of life. And that game is bigger. They may play this football game for 10, 15, that's college included. But that game of life, preferably that thing go to at least 90 years.
How difficult has it been for you, a father also, getting my son, daughter, whatever, to understand in their adolescence that I done been here, man. I done done that. How do you?
It's the same thing, Jamie, when our parents and grandparents told us the oven was hot. But what we did.
Yeah.
They got to try it, man.
So, okay.
They got to have their life experiences.
Okay.
They're not going to go by our life experience.
Okay.
They got to go by their life experience. And experience is everything in life. Experience grows you, man. Matures you. It stabilizes you. You got to go through your own experiences. And that's something they have to do. No matter if we tell them, hey, man, I'm telling you, if you go down there and take that left, it ain't going to turn out right. They're going to still go there and take that left.
So it's just a fait accompli. Just go ahead and let them and just hold.
You don't let them.
Oh, okay.
You navigate them like a navigational system in your car. You give them directions.
All right.
But when they make the wrong turn, you got to redirect them.
Speaking of that word, wrong turn. Beautiful segue. I don't know if you will agree with these names. I'm going to give you some names. And in my thinking, it's good.
It called almost baby cuss.
In my thinking, I think something has gone wrong with these people. And I'm going to ask you the question. The answer might not be nothing. But what went wrong?
Okay.
I want to start with Jadeveon Clowney.
I could say injuries and that total want. I think with Clowney, because I knew some people, first of all, I coached the unarmed All-American game when he was there out of high school.
Did you?
You couldn't
what
touch
is that like?
You
to
couldn't
see
touch
that
him,
kind
dog.
of,
You couldn't touch him.
I've never seen a man.
He whooped everything in sight that was thought to be an All-American that played offensive line. Whooped everybody every day at practice. Now, that was then. But the work ethic, I've heard, when he was at South Carolina, wasn't prevalent to want to go to the next level
blessing
every
and a curse
day.
So he's a blessing and a curse guy. From what's being said, I don't know.
Saturdays, he going to get it to you, but every day. And see, the problem with that is that does not warrant sustainability. You got to work to sustain that. And when I knew something was wrong is when J.J. Watt is on the other side and he's chasing everybody. They should be running right to you. So you got to get your game on. But I think injuries played a role in that too. He's had a really good career.
He has had a good career.
But not what you thought it was going to be.
Everybody everybody on this list actually hasn't had a good career. But let me say this. Everybody on
Carson
this
Wentz.
list.
No, that's a lie.
Carson
Wentz is Carson Wentz.
Well,
Carson Wentz.
Will you let me get this?
No, I got to shoot for it. Carson Wentz did this mess in college.
What happened to Carson Wentz?
Nothing.
So nothing went wrong. This is who
No. He did this in college.
This is who he
Check the stats.
Okay.
He did this in college.
Won a national championship one year, got hurt the next year, that didn't work. Then
It just
so.
and right now he's not seeing the game. We could say, oh, the receivers this, receivers that, man. Come on, you ain't saying that for Cam. You ain't saying that for Tom. You know, you ain't saying that Aaron Rodgers got one dog out there and he works with him. So it's his maturation. And sometimes, man, you pay these quarterbacks and you put that C on their chest, and that's not who they are. They ain't the captain. They're not that type of leader. No, not whatsoever.
Andrew Wiggins, NBA basketball player. He, to me, talent-wise, long, athletic.
They say he ain't got that dog in it. They say
So
the
that's
dog
what
is
went
missing.
wrong? So that's the only thing missing
They
from
say
him
he
is-
got the leash in his hand, but ain't no dog at the end of the leash. That's what I heard. I could call somebody right now, and they'll validate the facts. That's what they say. He got the leash in his hand now, but the dog ain't in it.
What went wrong with Kyrie Irving? Or if did something go wrong? I'll say it that way.
No, Kyrie's a phenomenal player, but Kyrie's not a leader. He's a basketball player that can flat out play and get you buckets and do what he needs to do. But he's not the guy that's going to lead you to the promised lands. He's a great player, but he's not the leader. So if we indict him for that, that's our fault because we can't put him at the head. He can't be the lead car at the funeral procession because you'll never get to the grave. Okay? Mm-hmm. Let me say that again. He can't not be the lead car at the funeral procession because you'll never make it to the graveyard. There's other guys like that too. James Harden is like that. That's a dog. Probably one of the greatest scorers that we will ever have. But he's not that leader that's going to get you to the promised land. Not that. And that's not an indictment on him. That's just not who he is. But if you need buckets, a game changer, he's going to do that. But you better put him on the court with another leader that the guys on the team going to follow.
Remember to swipe up at 21st and Prime. We also want you to subscribe at 21st and Prime. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe also anywhere you go to get your podcast. Remember, you're listening to 21st and Prime. You know, Dion, finding a new home that fits the family's needs can be really tricky. You want room to spread out, space to gather, and a place to, kind of get away from it all. Luckily, when it comes to meeting the needs of a mortgage that fits the family's needs, a great place to start is Rocket Mortgage. When I'm looking for a house and when I'm looking for a home, I'm not thinking, is the mortgage going to work for me? To be honest, I didn't really think too much about it until I started working with Rocket Mortgage and all the great advantages that they have for someone looking to buy a home. Want to see how a different down payment impacts your monthly payments? No problem. You can see your loan options, adjust payments, and closing costs right there online. Now, how helpful is that? When you need to know what it takes for your home loan to find the loan that fits your family budget and your needs, Rocket can. That's because they provide tools and expertise you need to understand all the options so that you can find out what best works for you. Not sure if you're ready to buy yet? Check out their online home buyer's guide for tips on where to get started. When you're ready and need a lender who can help you understand all your mortgage options, Rocket can. Get started online at rocketmortgage.com/playbook. That's right. They got a playbook for you. rocketmortgage.com/playbook. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS. ConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. That's our friends at Rocket Mortgage.
One of a kind, prime time is the
Welcome back, 21st and Prime. Little Keke going to join us for a very interesting conversation, a real conversation about life and, unfortunately, death. And a disturbing trend that, Dion, you have kind of stumbled onto, I guess, or epiphany that you had, but you're going to not want to miss that conversation. I want to talk about Sugar Ray. I want to talk about it from the standpoint, I'm talking about Ray Lewis.
Okay.
And something he said specifically in the concept of The Last Ride. Football Life, one of my favorite series on NFL Network. They do a great job. So does obviously ESPN with 30 for 30. But in Ray's Football Life, the line that jumped out at me was, and for those who don't remember the history of it, Ray got hurt earlier in the year. And so at the end of the year, and the Ravens were just kind of teetering around, and they were almost out of the playoffs. And towards the end of the season, Ray, talks to the team, and he makes and it's not so much his comeback, but he's ready to come off IR or whatever it was and play it. And in the story on NFL's series, he says, when I told the guys it was the last ride, this was going to be my last ride, I knew, in essence, something special was going to happen. Drew Brees. Is this, and I'm just a question because we don't know, because we got to watch it play itself out. Do you see this as potentially that last ride?
Well, the report's saying that he's accepted a job at NBC, which I hate, because usually when someone declares, and he hadn't declared it, God bless his soul, that he's going to leave. Usually when you declare that this is the last one, it's really the last one that last year.
Let's stop there. Was that a mistake that came out, however it came out for it to come out? Because I could think as a team, if you say,
and I'm sure his team, meaning his personal team, his professional business team, would not have wanted that to come out. Because now that makes people think, all right, so this is the last hurrah, not we're going to rally around you. You think about leaving.
Right.
So when you think about leaving, you already left. Relationships. If you think about leaving that dude, baby, you already gone. Fellas, you think about leaving her, you already gone. That's it. If you contemplate, I'm leaving, you've already left. He hadn't done that. Reports have done that. I believe he secured himself for the future,
right,
television-wise.
Right. But let me ask this question. So you do believe it shouldn't have happened wrong, however you want to look at that.
But I don't think he put that out.
Right. Next point of that would be, do you think the Saints and he has enough? Because they just beat the brakes off of Tampa.
Yeah, but that's a matchup. Sean Payton, Tampa don't match up well against them right now at all. And then you have Jameis Winston in the locker room singing, going triple platinum, telling them everything about that prospective team. So that's an edge. That's an edge. The Saints can do it. They have the team to do it offensively once they get all their pieces.
Is that official?
Together. Yeah.
I just want to make sure
They can do it. Okay. I'm not gonna say they're gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
But they can do it, because the Saints seem to me, they always find a way to mess it up in the end. They always find a way, whether it's legal or illegal. When it calls, we see some crazy stuff happen on the field in regards to the Saints, man. I mean, stuff you can't believe.
I keep telling people it's the curse of Brett Favre. What they did to Brett Favre, I just said it's anyway. Let's talk about coaching, and we started this show talking about criticism and pressure. Here you have two of the most storied, I think, college football programs in the country, in the University of Michigan, and Penn State has had a great tradition as well. And it don't look good, Coach.
It ain't good. It ain't good. See, when you're dealing with what everybody's dealing with right now, equally, the pandemic, if you were average last year, you're probably going to be a little bit below average this year, because you didn't really have the opportunity to work your players, to develop your players, and to get the proper players to the place they need to be, which is development, in the offseason because of the pandemic. And if you were good, you probably was going to stabilize yourself and continue to be good if you didn't lose the whole network or the whole shop like LSU. So teams that were bad last year are still bad. Teams that were good are pretty good, unless they lost everyone like LSU. And teams like Penn State and Michigan,
perennial 9-10
trending
game
downward. They're trending downward.
Why are they trending down? I think it has something to do with COVID.
No, it's all.
You don't believe? I think it does.
It has something to do with players.
Okay.
If you're not getting the right players and developing the players, you're not going to win. And they're trending downward. I'm not going to say, hey, you got to dismiss these guys, fire these guys, and COVID is playing a role. No, man. It is what it is. Everybody's playing with COVID. Everybody is. So,
but you didn't think like, and when you looked at the overall, because like I look at some NFL teams, the same thing. I mean, there were teams that I saw. You can even go back to the NBA. In my opinion, there's no way the Heat were supposed to be in the finals. Not that they didn't deserve it and they didn't earn it, but somebody didn't step up because the player or individuals there.
It was time to step up and they didn't step up in the due time, in the process they supposed to step
Boston
up.
And there were other.
And
Philly.
They was going to do it anyway. Philly was going to do the same bull junk they always do. Boston did the same bull junk they always do. Who stepped up? The Heat at the proper time. Playoffs, COVID and no COVID, it is what it is. COVID can't be no pass. Michigan is trending downward. First of all, they can't beat Ohio State. Let's just get that straight.
Right.
Then they usually drop another one. Now, it's not just those two. They're dropping this one and that one and this one.
And that one.
Now, what that affects is your recruiting class for the next year. That's a problem. That's a problem.
When we return, real conversation. Lil Keke in the house. It's life and death. You're listening to 21st and Prime. I want to tell you about our friends at No Days Wasted. That's nodayswasted.co. They've got an incredible new hydration refreshener. And the beauty of this refreshener is it includes immune support. Think about this. Electrolyte infused, utilizing pink Himalaya salt, so the electrolytes from the pink Himalayan salt, that's what's going in your body. A delicious watermelon lemonade electrolyte drink. And here's what I really like about it. You hear me talking about this all the time because when you start talking about where we are in this day and age, and COVID is here and it's going to be around for a little while, so it's very important that you fortify your immune system. And that's the beauty of what they have done with this specific hydration refreshener drink. Because what they've done is they've added vitamin C. And just look this up, go home, look this up, go on Google, go wherever you want to go to look up to show you the nutritional benefits that go into this hydration drink. Vitamin C, vitamin D. They have zinc in it. And so when you think about some of the things that are required to be able to help you replenish, because a lot of times what happens, especially people who are active, you know, if you're a very active person, that's what happens. And so when you get your workout on, and we obviously encourage everybody to get their workout on, you also now you impair your immune system because your body is using all these energies and nutrients. So I'm encouraging you right now, and the website that we want you to go to is nodayswasted.co. Put in the offer code PRIME. That's the offer code PRIME, and get yourself 20% off the order, plus free shipping. Again, that's nodayswasted.co/prime, and get your offer code of 20%, or get your discount of 20%. That's nodayswasted.co/prime. Check them out.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hey,
I'm ready.
welcome to the famous, my partner, my dog. You see where I'm at right now, right? You've got me through many workouts in here. You do know that, right? Many workouts, Jay, man. I put that
I
little
already know
on.
you woke the roosters up. I already know you woke the roosters up this morning,
You know
man.
it.
So you ready to rock. You already woke the army up, the roosters. You done woke everybody up already, man. I'm on the late show. How y'all doing this morning?
Ladies,
my brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lil Keke, the infamous. This is my dog. This is my partner. This is my brother. This is my man. This is one of the most dependable, honest, straight up brothers that I know, period.
Well, we need him to be straight up today.
Oh, that's all he does.
Keke, people dying, rappers, and I want you to say it the way you say it about this endangered species.
Like, I got a problem with how can this be the only occupation? And you've been in this game for how many years? You've been in the game? 30? About 30?
25.
25 years. This is the only occupation I know besides the dope game that if you're successful, you got a chance to die. If you're successful, you got a chance to die. In the last week, 2 deaths. In the last week alone, this year we probably at 5 to 6 total. And in the historically, Pac and Biggie was 2 of our best. And they're gone, all because of us. I got a problem with us proclaiming we matter, but then we're not showing that we do. And I'm trying to figure out, when is this foolishness going to stop?
Well, I thought about it, and I'm going to try to be as straight as I can, man. What I thought about when I put this in my head was, this might be the only profession that starts off with hate. It introduces you to the game with hate. You come in. You know, when you start playing Little League football, Pop Warner, you come in with love. It's about skill. It's about talent, your friendship. Now, see, we come into this. You got to understand, just think, what other profession you know that dying or going to jail, it boosts your rate?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like that's sales records for you. You know, coming in, when you come in the rap game, a diss record, who you didn't like. Most of the time you come in with the chip on your shoulder. They fueled it at us. We don't come in this game happy friendship. And then the main thing about it is, we don't come from an environment. Most rappers are street cats, hood cats, inner city cats, just like anybody else. So we don't come from an environment of seeing multiple people shining. You know, you don't grow up in an area where Mr. Johnson, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Witt, we come from where we only used to seeing one or two people have money. So you don't come in this game with love and affection. You come in with, you know, who I don't like, who hating, and I can't wait. Everybody, it's a race for first. It's money, power, respect. So from the beginning of even getting in this game, from a toddler, from a teenager, when you touch the microphone, when you enter, you don't enter this game with love. You enter it with a chip on your shoulder. You enter it with hate on your heart. You come in the game making a diss record, who I don't like, my neighborhood better than his neighborhood. This game is fueled with this from the beginning. So by the time you get to the money, or by the time you be successful, you've already been fueled at being first and who's to the top. This person want to be in front of this person, and it starts way from the beginning. We don't even come in this game with love and passion like you do. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get to the NFL, you may know 5 or 6 or 10 or 15 millionaires on one team. Where in this particular game, you know, everybody likes to bag up quarterback until it's time for them to start. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love to bag up quarterback. That's how it is with the rapper. I like this other rapper, and he cool until it's time for him to shine and take my place and stand in front of this and get in front of this camera and get this social greatness and all this here. It's the same way. So in my heart, as I go back and study it, it never starts with love, man. It starts with hate.
Wow.
To that end, you know, there's this phrase they use called a perfect storm. And what I mean by that is, because of what you said, because I see and believe, and it makes common sense, that this particular game is built on hate. Now, unfortunately, the perfect storm being, okay, that's not between me and you, Dion, or me and you, Keke. It is between outsiders. The outsiders don't understand it's a game. And so my question is it set up as a perfect storm? Because, see, again, Biggie, Tupac got killed by people outside the game. It was nobody in Biggie's camp. There was nobody in Tupac's camp.
No, that's a lie there. That's a lie there.
One of the boys.
That's a lie there.
They got
not one of the main dudes.
No, but
that
that's
was there, but it was somebody connected to somebody.
No, but everybody's connected to somebody.
Like that camp was at war with this camp. Like this bull junk going on in Dallas right now. This camp is at war in this camp, and it's gonna be casualties.
But they're not. My point is, but they're not Biggie or Pac. Is my point. My point is, it's somebody that's not these two. It's somebody.
The dogs don't never shoot. It's the cats. It's the cats. Am I lying, Keke?
Hey man, listen. It's the game. You gotta understand. When you get in, by the time you get in this game, and you say it's not the people, you know, it's not the. It is. It start early, man. It start real early. I'm talking about from small, from middle school to high school, and you gotta understand. It's a competition thing. You know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure my game, this built on toughness. You don't see a lot of rap situations where, you know, hey man, how you doing, man? You look good today. This is more about being tough, and that toughness carries.
But Keke, I'll say the same thing.
So it is.
But let me say it again. You're not shooting. Dion not popping. And you're saying it's the cats. Okay, fine. So it's set up that. My point is if anything, why can't it be the main dudes be the main dudes? It's somebody else. That's the problem. Somebody else is causing the problem.
No, but the main dudes may have stimulated, but the other dudes got to prove they're the homie, they the dog. I got your back. I'm down for you, man. We've been there since the gutter, and I'm gonna handle this for you.
Somebody other than the main guy.
And you gotta understand, this sells records. This gets us deals. Hey man, listen. If Tupac dead, Biggie dead, this made them more famous. Hey man, listen, man. People are anticipating people getting out of jail. It's a setup. We can't wait. We finna celebrate. Hey man, you got some rappers right now. You got a better shot going platinum going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Right. You probably need to go to jail first. You know what I'm saying? and come out with the anticipation. So yeah, man, it is from within because you got to understand the small fish want to make sure that the big fish see that, because the first thing that we want to do that we don't understand is transfer the street game to the hip hop game. It looks better. It looks better to the people. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks better to the consumers, to the masses. Me walking in by myself with a nice pretty chain on is one thing, but me walking in with 20 of us with chains on and everything on, that's a much better look. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like me having a fight one-on-one in the back of the club, that's a good thing. But 30 or 40 of us having a fight, that looks much better for Graham. That looks much better for the masses. It's a better look. You gotta understand this is big. This is perception.
I got that part.
We gotta sell it. We gotta sell it, man.
But again, I get all the pieces. That's why I'm saying, in other words, for this gumbo to work. Okay, I like to eat, so my bad. I just like to cook, and
Okay.
For this gumbo to work, it seems like we've got to have these pieces, and I guess the point is, it's going to seem like it's going to continue because the beef of the street is a part of the fame of the game.
But the only way this gonna stop, to me, and Keke, you may have a different view, is somebody has to take the high road. Somebody died, and the persons on this side got to say, you know what? It's over. I'm not gonna retaliate. We good. We gonna just.
Come on, dog. Come on.
That's the only way it's gonna stop.
That's not gonna happen.
But yeah, but I'm just telling you, that's the only way it's gonna stop.
Let me tell you. Another main component of this is you getting what you asked for. Let me tell you let me elaborate what I mean what you get. I'm a spiritual guy. Hey man, most time when you get out of jail, you get out of high school, you get out of college, the first thing you do, good Lord, just send me a good girl. I want me a good girlfriend. He gonna send it to you. Good Lord, send me a place to stay. Send me a car. I ain't had a car. He sent it to you. Lord, I've been broke for years. I just need a job. If you can help me out, I'm gonna send you. He sent it right to you. But guess what? When you go to saying, I'm ready to kill. I shoot something up tomorrow. I kill him. I knock it. He gonna send you that too. I'm gonna send you that. You kept asking for that.
Words have power.
I gave you everything that you asked me for. Money, clout, time, fame, job, girlfriend. You kept asking me. Lord, I'm telling you, I need it. Then when you got the money, you kept asking for tough stuff. I want to kill. I want this here. I want to walk in. He gave you that too. So a lot of these rappers, man, and a lot, you keep asking for it, and you put yourself in a situation where you have to defend your pride and defend everything that you've been stressing that you will do. See, that's another thing. Pride comes before destruction. It's a lot of these rappers. We came from the streets. We came from the bottom, and we brought this game to the rap game. Now they coming from the blue, the red, the game, and we bringing that mentality to the streets because it look better. You got to understand, if I stand up here right now and go to the BET Awards with a nice little chain and a V-neck on, everybody see me. But what about when we come in with 7 red bandanas, about 9 chains? That's a much better look for the TV. And guess what? Now you're in a situation where you have to say that we really represent what we talking about and what we saying. We want these stripes on our belts, these notches, and you got to understand, man, what just happened in Dallas, one side of it is hurt, and the other side may feel like we up one. You know what I'm saying? This good for sale. They got a lot of likes and a lot of comments and a lot of views. It's driven on that. So you got to understand, if I wake up and 50,000 people is feeling what I'm talking about, ain't no way in the world I'm worried about what and D-Hub talking about, man. I ain't worried about no. They talking about some Keith and come on to the Jackson State game. I ain't worried about that right there. I'm talking about in the morning, these people gonna say I'm the king in the morning, and then it's gonna be a promoter gonna say, man, I heard everything about you. Come on down. I got 20,000 for you to bring the game down. You ain't gonna be able to stop it when it's rolling and fueling like that because it's fueled from, like I say, money, power, and respect.
Wow.
But to me that says, and I believe everything you just said, but what he just said also tells me there's no solution. You have words. You have Deion. You got words. Give me these words. These nice words or words.
Solution.
There is no
this
solution.
This is the solution. Keke, how have you done it? How have you done it for 25?
The solution is this, man. You know, like I've done it by missing a lot of. I miss money. I miss some millions to mature. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, man, it just take growth and maturity, and that's not for everybody. You gotta have. I don't care if it's one or two. Everybody want a part of the spotlight. So the solution of me and what I had to do was be matured enough to know that all money ain't good money. You're going to miss some money. You're going to miss some money. You're going to miss some time. You're going to miss some, it's some of them nights I just didn't. Hey, man, I know what's happening at that club. I know what's going to get ready to happen. I know what type of heat I can bring as a leader. See, it starts right there when I tell my son all the time, man, you know what I'm saying? You always want to remind me of everything I did bad. Man, you used to do this here, and I got this from my dad. I went out there and cut the yard today. I prayed. You ain't remind me of that. So that's what you got to do. You got to have somebody in them cliques that's older that's able to say, you know what, man, I'm a leader. We already know the blood's over there tonight, so we ain't going tonight. Instead of saying, man, let's go before they say we scared and we didn't show up. See, it takes one or two mature people. I took me being a leader and people following me, I started making them follow me for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me knowing that I can pile them up and take them with me to go do something, I may take the night out. We chilling tonight. We ain't going. So I just started leading different since I had that kind of platform. And it's going to take one or two. But when the leader at the top is fueling, man, let's get this, man, let's do this, it's going to be hard to stop the people that's from under. So we're going to have to cut some of the yes men, some of the followers, and we got to find one or two. You ain't going to find, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't going to find 5 Primes, 5 Ray Lewises. You got to have one or two that they all follow. So if Ray Lewis is out here saying, man, go out there and snatch his face mask off, kick him in his mouth, stack his eyeball up, most likely the other going to follow into that type of because he leading in that type of path. But Ray just say, man, just go out here and stomp him. We're gonna beat them 6-0, and we're going to pile up on them, and then they're going to follow in that trait. So you got to find one or two leaders that's mature enough to lead them in a different way. And that's how I've been able to do it.
With all due respect to both of y'all, that won't work. It's a plan. Let me rephrase it. No, it's a plan of success. No, it does sound good, but
it's working for Drake. Well, it's working for Drake.
Well, no, but that's one.
It's working for the weekend.
But the problem is, we started this conversation talking about two people that wasn't Drake. That's trying, because the point of it's the hunger of trying to get there. So everybody's not going to have the counsel and not accept it. I just don't see how it's going.
All my friends hate to play blackjack with me. You know why they hate to play blackjack with me? Because I don't care about none of y'all money on the table. I'm worried about my money. Okay, so don't put me at the end of the table because I'm not hitting out. My favorite saying in blackjack is look, if I ain't in the game, how can I win?
Yeah.
If I ain't in the game, I'm not taking that extra card to hit out. What I'm trying to say is, if I'm not alive, I can't win. I got to be alive to win.
I see it, but the problem is that person, in other words, who's trying to get out of the game, what I see and what I know from the streets is they are not alive because they ain't in the game. So somebody's going to do whatever it takes to get in the game. It may not be one person, 2 people, but because I got to get in the game and bump this dog, I got to get in the game. I just don't see a way around it because of all the things that he described about the game. And so there's somebody from Macon, Georgia. There's somebody from El Paso, Texas that want to be a rapper, blah, 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 blah. And his only way forward is to do the same thing I saw Biggie do. Same thing I saw Pac do.
But
it's unfortunate.
What happens in football, in basketball, in baseball, in business? The OGs sit the young fellas down and say, look, man, this is the only way you're going to make it. This is the only way you're gonna get longevity. And it has to be guys like Keke, like all the OGs in Houston,
But
which
I'm
I
in
love
but
that.
I'm in
I
El
think Houston
Paso.
one of the few places that all the OGs get together, man. Like they got
But I'm in
connectivity,
El
man.
Paso,
When I
dog.
see Keke and Paul Wall get together and do their thing and thug, man, it's unbelievable.
But I'm in El Paso. My point is, I'm in Macon. My point
Yeah,
is,
but
I'm not in Keke. Keke,
but you
he
still-
highbrow. He got his pinky up now when he
You
drink his
still
coffee.
gotta
That ain't
look-
the Keke we used to know.
You still got to look up to somebody to give you directions. There's no way you could get in the car and trust a navigation system you don't know to get you somewhere and not trust a cat that you do know that got 25 on the dashboard.
No, but because what happens, you trust your own navigation. That's the problem. Right there, you didn't bet on nobody with Prime, dog. We talk about it all the time. We gonna always bet on ourselves.
True.
I ain't gonna bet on nobody else. I'm gonna bet on myself, and it's unfortunate that like I said, it'd be great. Go ahead, Keek. I know we talking. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, this is very hard when you're dealing with a situation like this. Hey man, if you can run 4.2 in the 40, we gonna draft you, man. If you can hit that ball over that fence, man, we are gonna draft you, man. If you 6'4" and can throw, hey man, if you got a movement, a lot of little colors and a gang banging, and you roll it and you moving some numbers, we gonna draft you. So it's hard. You get what I'm saying? Like, the people are handing us millions of dollars to bring this to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love it. They not going to Spotify and YouTube and looking for hey man, you get a chance to rap every 10 years. You know what I'm saying? You get him every 10 years. But this gangster rapper, you get, hey man, listen, you ain't never seen this many young millionaires in your life. As far as from a hip hop, from an entertainment standpoint. And you gotta come from, hey man, man, hey man, we just didn't have a car, barely had the lights on, barely was eating, till a year from now we millionaires, and we became millionaires off thugging. So we're gonna keep handing that blueprint down. It come from the top. Hey man, you can start thugging for 6 months and run it up, and the people can write you $1 million check for thugging.
Wow.
Which one you gonna do? Which one you gonna do? Be happy and be cool, or you gonna be thugging? It's just like the steroid era. Hey man, listen. It ain't too many people that ain't passed up that shot to get that 30 million a season. They bent over and got that shot because
He said he bent over and got that shot.
they bent over and got that shot, man. Because listen here, man, it wasn't too many of them that were passing that 30 million a season up. Hey man, listen. Some of them just couldn't hit that ball. Hey, man, you can hit that ball, they getting that shot and get that 30 million a season, man. Same thing over here, man. Hey, man, if you can talk that gangster talk, run them numbers up YouTube, and you got your nice following, we'll give you $1 million to do that. So we teaching the youngsters that we running a cycle. They really don't want to hear me coming in talking about, man, take your time. So my approach sometimes be, man, listen, man, I get a game to who you can get a game to, man, and who's gonna listen and what you can do.
Say that
because
again.
It's a cycle, and you got to try to lead by example.
Say that again.
But it's a slippery slope.
Say that again.
Huh?
I give the game to, slow that down a little bit because I think that's really profound. I give the game to who can take. Say that statement again.
I get a game to who can accept it and who won't it. I don't force it on anybody. You know what I'm saying? I can't force it because I lived this life before and I ran this place. And at 21 or 22, you couldn't tell me nothing. Hey, man, Prime with the curl, with the shades on it, you can't tell him nothing.
It was dry. It was dry.
That curl looked wet, Keke, but it was dry. That curl looked wet, but it's dry, all right?
Yeah. and you couldn't tell him nothing. Well, the thing about the youngsters, you got some, man, that they will listen, they will, but for the most part, man, hey, man, the OG against the young G has always been a battle. You know, the only way the OG really get to stay around is still being successful, still being relevant. Imagine the OG on the corner who they don't think got it no more, who they ain't feeling no more. They ready to move him out the way. So even with us, we got to stay with a chain or two on. I got to put the rollie on sometime. I got to holler at partner. It's all about relevance now. They only respect money and relevance. You ain't gonna be able to really get it across. It's the same thing, man, with anything with sports, man. Hey, we respect Hall of Fame. We respect wins. We respect the playoff. Hey, man, you come in there and win. Now, hey, I just use these analogies, man, because that's what y'all from, and it's the same thing from the streets, man. These kids respect greatness, and our greatness don't always look plain. Sometimes you got to You know, sometimes they respect Slim Thug or respect that because they still see he got 30, 40 cars. They still see he's shining. They still see he look good. We still respect Key because it's 25 years later and he's still doing his thing. He still look good. But think about the cat that's not me. You're not really trying to hear it. And, you know, so it's a race for the money.
Let's flip the script.
All right, 30 million.
No. Talk to him about what we're going to talk to him about.
But he used the number 30 million. The 30 million. Okay, you got two cats in Houston making 30 million each. One with a big old beard, the other one with a point guard. So what are we doing with the Houston Rockets right now? What is Coach GM Keke? GM Keke. Go ahead, GM.
Yeah,
what you doing? What's going to happen there?
Man, listen here, man. This is the worst time to be from Houston sports that you could ever possibly be from Texas, period. I tell you what, man. Hey, man, it's all about who you going to bring in now that can make that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, two friends together, Westbrook and Harden, I think it was a great thing, but I want to separate them. I do. I want to separate them because I think that Harden, you know, I think Harden needs a different kind of superstar to go with him, not another wing. And I also think that Russell Westbrook, I also think that, let me talk y'all back in. Hold on. Y'all gone. Here you go. I also think that Russell Westbrook should be put in a two-guard situation. If Russell Westbrook is doing a lot of handling of the basketball, it's going to be a lot of problems, man, because he's going to make decisions. He's a point guard. He's like a point and a two. I got the ball, and I need to shoot it. So I don't know if that's an actual match for them to be together, hooking up friends and putting friends together. So in my opinion, it's time to separate.
I like it. My perception was, and I told Jamie, Harden is a dog, but not a leader. My exact analogy was, if you follow him and he's leading the car, he's the lead car at the funeral procession, you'll never make it to the funeral. You're not going to get there. He's not built like that. He's a dog, one of the most prolific scorer ever, but he's not a leader. He's not going to take you to the promised lands. That's just it.
My man, well, we appreciate. Go ahead.
What you say, Jeff?
Well, I think I like to bring them big in. I'd like for them to get rid of one of them. I actually think they could keep two of them and bring and I'm not saying Anthony Davis because he's not available, but bring a big in like that doesn't have to have the ball. A Tyson Chandler 20 years ago who's a big, or DeAndre Hopkins is the best example of it, a younger DeAndre Hopkins. In other words, somebody get you 18 boards at any time.
DeAndre Hopkins played football.
I'm sorry, what's the dude from the Clippers? DeAndre Jordan, my bad. A DeAndre Jordan type. 7 foot big that doesn't demand the ball, but he going to get every rebound that bounce off that rim. And then, all right, first quarter, here you go, big man. And you don't have to see him again to the second quarter. But he's still going to get you 18 or so because he's the garbage. That's what I think they need.
I love both of them. This is what I think. I love both of them, but Westbrook is an alpha dog. He's an alpha male.
Thank you.
So he's going to get put right in the same situation that Kevin Durant got put in. I don't care how good you are, how prolific you are. Westbrook is an alpha dog, as an alpha. So me getting to the end of the game and deciding I'm going to hand it to you, that's not something he might want to do. That's not something he's going to do.
But if you had that big, though, see, that's my point. In other words, that's why I like this Chandler type big. You know, whereas when that thing come off the glass, there ain't but one person getting that ball because we don't know what's going to happen, but he can get the tip, he can get the follow-up, and he knows his role. You don't need another alpha in the house. I'm thinking the best thing is get somebody with great skill.
Those two ain't going to win together. That's how I feel.
Okay.
I don't care what you say. They'll win games, but they're not going to win it all. They're not going to win together.
They two ball dominant. They both two ball dominant. You know what I'm saying? They both two ball dominant. And to be honest, if you want the best James Harden, hey, man, I couldn't understand, man. I didn't understand the Rockets' last two moves. One year, you put up the most three-pointers that you ever, I'm talking about scores, the most points in history. Nobody can beat you. You just scored 1 million 3-points. You come back that next year and get a ball to Chris Paul. You know that wasn't going to make James Harden, man. You took the ball out of hand. Chris Paul want to dribble and be a flow general. You come back the next year from doing all that complaining. You don't want Chris Paul. And you bring in what? That's the same person. He's the same ball dominant person. He want to come in. He going to dribble. He going to do what he wants. James Harden is best with the ball in his hand and controlling and being and do. How can he do that with a dominant? James Harden need to be put in an offense where he could just be a scorer and just be him. Why do it have to be an offense where he got to shoot 95 threes and 100 threes? He can put up 30 or 40 just being James Harden. He needs something like an Embiid, something like an N. Davis, something that's total away from the wings of what he do. Too dominant, score too many points on the wing to have another wing that scores 20. If he had a wing that averaged about 15 and 16 with about 9 or 10, he'd be great. Not another wing that averaged 25.
So he need a Rondo. He need a Rondo. He need a Rondo.
He need a Rondo.
Well,
he need a Rondo and a big man.
He need a Rondo and a big man. We ain't going to talk about the Texans. We ain't going to go there. Okay, we ain't going to go there. Let's just stop right now while we're ahead, okay?
Keke, we appreciate you joining us, bro.
Don't
do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Come on down when the Texans team come on right now. I watch you every week. They hit right to the segment. Don't nobody even care. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody even care. I say, man, as soon as this man see the Texans, he better come. Man, don't nobody even care.
Ain't nobody care. Ain't nobody care.
Man, we going through a situation of, hey, man, we got to give up on the Bill Belichick disciples, man.
True.
Don't send us now another Bill Belichick disciples.
No.
We don't want him. We're not getting the Bill Belichick results. So, man, I think the Texans, man, we got the franchise player. We got Deshaun.
I'm praying that y'all get Eric Bieniemy. I think he and Deshaun will go well together. It's a chocolate-based city, which is Houston. They would accept the African-American coach with open arms. And he's young.
And Atlanta would?
Yeah, Atlanta would.
Okay.
But the quarterback don't match. Deshaun matches Bieniemy a lot better.
Why don't the quarterback match?
Than Matt Ryan.
Why not?
Because Bieniemy is like a college/pro.
Keke asked about Matt Ryan.
You need to stop. Matt Ryan is good. Matt Ryan can still play, dog. He can still play. But Bieniemy matches that particular offense a lot better and that quarterback a lot better. That's all I'm saying. This man knows his ball.
So. I think Bieniemy will be great. I think Bieniemy will be great for him. Deshaun Watson need to, and the whole thing, man, give him something, man. You can't keep getting him Swiss cheese and you got to give him something, man.
He had the guy, I mispronounced his name, DeAndre Hopkins. He had him, and y'all let him go.
You can't let the dog go. You can't let the dog go.
I think Bill O'Brien, just on that particular move right there, he shouldn't even get to be a coordinator no more. He shouldn't even get to come back. Bill O'Brien, it needs to at least take 2-3 years off of football, and then when they ask him why, not for X and O, just for waking up and trading DeAndre, you don't get to coach 2-3 years behind that, man.
That has to be a clip to stand alone. We need that. Hey, man, I love you, boy. I appreciate you. Hey, talk to me about the album. Talk to me about all the apparel. Talk to us about, give us a plug on the apparel and the album, all that. Give us all that.
Self-Made 3 is November 20th. When y'all come to the city, I'm going to give you a key to the city. 713, the key to the city, because I love you. And then this talk that we doing right now, legend talk.
That's it.
Talks of legends, man. Know what it is. Salute to my big brother.
Where we go find all the stuff? Where we go find all the stuff? Where we find all the stuff? All the apparel.
Self-Made 713. Without not an E in the Self-Made. SLFMADE. Self-Made 713. This for anybody that get up and take care of their own business and believe in themselves. Not they don't need help. Self-Made 713. New album this week, November the 20th, OG game. You know how we do it.
I love you, boy. Man. Boy, I love you.
I love you.
And you know what?
My pleasure, my brother.
Out of all that he does, ain't never missed a game. His kids.
Never. And guess what? He wearing that 21 well, too. He wearing. He wearing. He wearing.
All right, my brother. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, baby.
Love
respect.
That key, boy.
Yeah.
I am so excited that we're partnering Dion with Manscaped.com. And basically, just think about it. I'm going to bring back a word we talked about many years ago, metrosexual. It's an old word, but I'm kind of one of those guys, like to have my nails done. You know that. We like to get our nails done. And one of the things I can't stand is, facial hair, some facial hair. Like an afro protruding out of your nose, or the afro that's coming out of people's ears. And so Our friends at Manscaped.co, they've got some incredible equipment. That's all I want to call it. It's the manscaping equipment that we need. And by the way, special offer right now. Log on to Manscaped.com. Get 20% off putting in the offer code PRIME. That's Manscaped.com, putting in the offer code PRIME. That's Manscaped.com. And there's free shipping along with that. But again, they've got some great, and check this out. They've got the Manscaped 3.0 kit. It is absolutely fantastic when you start talking about it's going to help you get down in that lower area and trim all that up. Because right now, fellas, you got to tighten it up. But anyway, again, check our friends out at Manscaped.com. Get your 20% off putting in the offer code PRIME.
Barstool Sports, baby.
Welcome back, 21st and Prime. Hope you enjoyed that conversation. Very in-depth, very real.
It's my dog.
I'm not optimistic, to be honest with you, about the conversation, only because I think it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle that has to continue. But let's talk about...
We got to do better, though.
We do have to do better. And speaking of doing better, let's talk about the word of the day.
Come on.
Don't ever lose your passion.
That thing, that intangible, that
That what?
thing that wakes you up in the morning, that passion, that thing that you don't have to get paid to do, but you do it anyway. That thing that you just wake up with it on your mind. You go to bed with it on your mind. That's your passion.
That want.
That want. The reason you do what you do, you can't forget that want. That want is in you to be better, to do better, to live better, to breathe better, to look better.
You kind of said this, and I'm a sidebar just slightly, though, because I'm fascinated with this Steph Curry and that conversation. It seems like you made in saying that they don't have in your mind, won't have that want.
No, they got that want, but they've won rings.
Right.
So
that means you don't have that. Well, okay.
Is that passion still there?
How about that?
Is that dog?
There it is. That's the next
dog.
line. That dog.
Draymond,
that dog
lives with that dog. Some people got to have that dog, that tenacity. That's what that dog.
That thing, that makes you remember when.
You remember when we ain't had that?
Yeah.
You remember when we was in Cobra Terrace?
Yeah.
You know, that drive, that thirst, that hunger to get to the NFL, the way we worked, the way we trained, the way we wanted, that feeling of your dust in your bottom of your pocket, that thing, that's what I'm talking about.
Your purpose.
Your purpose. Your purpose is that thing that I consequently said earlier that you would do for free. That thing that gets you up in the morning. That thing that makes you smile.
Free.
For free.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Don't get caught up in foolishness, ignorance of life.
Foolishness, ignorance of life. The foolishness. We arguing about something we won't even remember next week. We going back and forth over something stupid that we weren't even involved in. A disagreement that we shouldn't even disagree upon. That's the idiocy of life.
I like that. Stay true to who you are.
You got to stay true to you, man.
How and why you are that woman or that dude.
Yeah. See, your heart is you love, compassion, assistance, helping people, grabbing people, building them, motivating. That's true to who you are. When you get off of that, that ain't you.
That's going to do it for this edition of 21st and Prime. Remember, swipe up at 21st and Prime.
Swipe up.
Also, subscribe at 21st and Prime or subscribe on our YouTube channel because check out the video. The video is better. You know, like he's good looking. And
right now. Subscribe right now.
Right now. And tell your friends. God bless.
You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. Fresh and clean as the South get. Before I get started, I'm laying out my outfit. Socks and shoes that match to a T. I doubt if a sucker get a catch on me. I'm G-U-C-I-M-O-T.